Have you ever thought about what it means to be so completely consumed by a purpose that you'd be willing to just burn out for it? Well, that's the question right at the center of the story we're diving into today, the story of Henry Martyn. He was a man who basically traded a life of total comfort for a single, all-consuming focus.
And look, for him, this wasn't just some poetic line. It was his mission statement. It defined every single thing he did. It's a pretty radical idea, almost shocking when you hear it. What kind of conviction does it take for someone to not just serve a cause, but to actually want to be completely used up by it?
So let's pull back the curtain here. Who was this guy? What kind of life, what kind of mind gets a person to a place where they don't just put up with sacrifice, but they actively choose to burn out for what they believe in? That's the story we're about to get into. To really get why his choice was so radical, we have to look at what he was giving up. And it turns out his early life was one of just incredible, almost limitless promise. Okay, so picture this. Henry Martyn was, by every account, an absolute genius. Born in 1781, he crushed it at Cambridge. I mean, he was on the fast track. The path ahead was crystal clear. Academic stardom, a comfy life, fame, probably a lot of money. The whole thing was just laid out for him. But as you might guess, that smooth, easy road he was on, it was about to hit a massive, life-altering turning point. A moment was coming that would make him throw it all away for something completely different. It wasn't one big lightning bolt moment. It was actually a couple of powerful stories that just completely captured his imagination. He heard about this pioneering missionary, William Carey, and he read the life story of another, David Brainerd. And to him, these weren't just stories. They lit a fire in him. And this is the crossroads he found himself at. It's so clear when you see it like this. On one side, you've got the world's definition of success, academic fame, a respected career, financial security. And on the other side, a call to a difficult, uncertain life, inspired by these guys who went before him. Two totally different futures. And he chose. He turned his back on that life of comfort, on that predictable success. His new mission became totally clear. He was going to take his message to parts of the world where it was barely known, specifically to the people of India and Persia. All right, so he's on this new path. But let me tell you, this was not going to be a walk on the park. His new life of service would be defined by constant, massive challenges that were going to test him to his absolute limits. His day job, if you want to call it that, was as a chaplain for the East India Company. Now, that got him in the door, but it also plunged him into some of the most difficult, unforgiving environments you can think of, literally a world away from the cozy halls of Cambridge. And the reality of his day-to-day was just brutal. We're talking about relentless, sickness-inducing heat. We're talking about constant pushback to his work. And maybe the worst part? A deep, crushing loneliness from being so completely isolated from everything and everyone he'd ever known. So you have to ask, right? How does anyone endure all that? Well, this quote right here gives us a little window into his head. For Martyn, the mission wasn't a job. It was just the natural outcome of his faith. He felt that the closer he got to his God, the more passionate he would become for his purpose, no matter what it cost him personally. So his life was hard, and it was cut way too short. But the impact he made, that was permanent. His real legacy was forged in the actual work he left behind. 3. Just 3. This one simple number represents a monumental achievement that would outlive him by centuries. In the very short time he had, Henry Martyn translated the entire New Testament into 3 major languages: Urdu, Persian, and Arabic. This wasn't just some side project. This was foundational work. He created resources that would let millions of people read these texts in their own language for generations to come. When you actually look at the timeline of his life, it is just staggering. He was born in 1781. He commits everything to his mission around 1805. And by 1812, he's gone, dead at just 31 years old. In about 7 years of real service, he did what most people would consider a lifetime's work. Yeah, his life ended while he was traveling through Turkey, sick, completely alone, with no fanfare at all. In the eyes of the world, he was just some unknown traveler who disappeared. But the work he had poured his entire being into, that made sure he would never, ever be forgotten. Okay, so what does this incredible story from over 200 years ago mean for us, right here, right now? What are the big takeaways from a life that was so short but so unbelievably impactful? First, and this is so crucial to get, he didn't do it for the applause. He saw very, very few immediate results from his work. He wasn't motivated by public recognition. He was motivated by a sense of calling. So if we boil it down, we can pull out 3 really powerful lessons from his life. Number 1, use the time you have now. He didn't assume he was going to have a long life, so he just poured everything he had into the present moment. 2, excellence matters. He wasn't just passionate. He was a brilliant, meticulous scholar. His translations were so good they're still referenced by academics today. And 3rd, love has to be bigger than your own comfort. The only reason he could endure all that hardship was because he genuinely loved the people he was trying to reach. And this might be the most profound and challenging thing he ever said. It's just a declaration of pure, unshakable purpose. He honestly believed he was being kept alive for one specific task, and that until that task was finished, nothing could stop him. And that's kind of leaves us with a heavy question to chew on, doesn't it? His great work was translation. He believed it made him, in a way, immortal until it was done. So when you look at your own life, your own sense of purpose, what's the work that makes you immortal?